The basic structure of an electrical power system mainly consists of three parts. These parts are generation, transmission, and distribution. In other words, a power system mainly performs three tasks. It generates electrical power at a certain low voltage level. It generates electrical power at generating stations. Then it steps up that generated electrical power to a higher voltage level, and then it transmits it to the load center where the power is stepped down for distribution purposes. Distribution means the ultimate supply of power to the consumer, that is, the end user. Suppose the generating station and your home are located in different locations. The generating station is located far away from the town because it is always economical to choose the location of the generating station depending upon many factors. It cannot always be constructed near your home, or we can say near the load center. The generating station generates power at a low voltage level, typically about 11 to 25 kilovolts. This is because generation at a low voltage level is more economical than generation at a high voltage level. Although we are not going to discuss in detail the reasons for low voltage generation, you can keep in mind for the time being that low voltage generation reduces the insulation requirement of the alternator or generator. So, physically and economically, rotating machines like alternators are more practical than constructing a very large alternator with high insulation thickness. Hope you got a basic idea of why we always generate electricity at a low voltage level. But transmitting this low voltage electrical power from the generating station to a load center, which is far away, is not economical. There are many disadvantages of transmitting electrical power at a low voltage level. So after generation, the power system steps up this power to a high voltage level. This is because high voltage transmission reduces the current for the same amount of power. Reduced current reduces I²R losses, improves voltage regulation, and also reduces the required conductor cross-section and weight. But at the distribution end, we cannot directly supply this high voltage power to our homes. In our homes, we need 220 volts for single-phase supply or 415 volts for three-phase supply. So this high voltage power is stepped down in sub-transmission and distribution substations. Ultimately, it is stepped down to 11 kilovolts, and then this 11 kilovolt supply is further converted to 415 volts or 220 volts by distribution transformers. These transformers are generally seen on roadside double pole or four pole structures in your locality. This is the basic structure of a power system. Now in the next chapter, we will discuss this in more detail, along with different voltage levels of generation, transmission, and distribution. This is the symbolic representation of a thermal power station. This is a generating station which generates electrical power at a low voltage level. In place of a thermal generating station, it may be a hydro generating station, wind generating station, or solar generating station. But in our discussion, we are showing a thermal generating station. This generating station produces electrical power at a low voltage level, generally from 11 kilovolts to 25 kilovolts as we have already mentioned. Then this generated power is fed to a step-up transformer where it is stepped up to the transmission voltage level. Suppose this is an 11 over 220 kilovolts step-up transformer. So the output of the transformer is 220 kilovolts, and that will be transmitted through this transmission tower line as shown. This transmission line may also be an underground cable, but for long-distance transmission, we still use overhead transmission lines. The voltage level may be 132 kilovolts, 220 kilovolts, 400 kilovolts, or even 765 kilovolts. In our case, we have stepped up the voltage to 220 kilovolts. Although for very long transmission lines, 220 kilovolts may not be sufficient. In that case, we use a 400 kilovolt transmission system. For very long distance bulk power transmission, we even use 765 kilovolt systems. This transmission system may also be an HVDC transmission system, where the generated AC voltage is first rectified to DC, then transmitted through a high voltage DC transmission line. Then the DC power is inverted back to AC and finally stepped down again for distribution purposes. Anyway, In our case, the 220 kilovolt electrical power reaches the load-side transmission substation. Here we have the transformer, which is a step-down transformer of the transmission substation. Here, the transformer ratio is 220 over 33 kilovolts. So the power is stepped down to the 33 kilovolt voltage level. Now this 33 kilovolts is further transmitted through a sub-transmission line to the distribution substation. Sometimes, some bulk consumers directly receive power at the 33 kilovolt level, but we are not showing that in our diagram. In our diagram, for simplicity, we have shown the distribution transformer inside the distribution substation. The transformer rating here is 33 over 11 kilovolts. So, 11 kilovolt power is supplied further. This 11 kilovolts is then supplied to the pole-mounted transformer, which is rated 11 over 0.415 kilovolts. This is the pole-mounted distribution transformer. Here, you should also remember that from the distribution substation, there may be many bulk consumers who receive supply directly at 11 kilovolts. We are also not showing those in this diagram. From this pole-mounted distribution transformer, we connect our home supply. The line-to-line voltage here is 415 volts. However, in our household, we take the supply between phase and neutral. So, the receiving end voltage for our household is generally 220 or 230 volts, which is equal to 415 divided by the square root of 3. Whatever we have discussed so far is the simplest form of a power system, where power is generated at a lower voltage level, then transmitted at a higher voltage level, and finally stepped down for supply to the consumer supply network. But in the actual scenario, we use grid systems. A grid system means all the generating stations are interconnected through transmission lines over a very large area of a country. And all the step-down substations are also connected to the same network of transmission lines. Together, these form a grid system. In other words, a grid is a large network of a transmission system where different generating stations feed power and different substations extract power, instead of connecting a single transmission line between a single generating station and a single distribution load point or locality. The grid system is a highly flexible system because if any of the generating stations goes out of service or reduces its generating capacity, the grid will take care of it and continue supplying power to the consumer end. This happens because other generating stations are still connected to the grid and continue supplying power. In a grid system, a consumer gets power from the grid, not from any particular generating station. And this makes the power system very flexible. We can divide conventional power stations into two categories, and these are thermal power stations and hydropower stations. In thermal power stations, depending upon the fuel, we can categorize them into three types. These are coal-based thermal power stations, nuclear power stations, and diesel or natural gas-based thermal power stations. Hydropower stations cannot be categorized in the same way, but we can classify them as pumped storage plants and conventional hydropower stations. Pumped storage plants have unique characteristics which we will discuss later in another article or video. Nowadays, renewable energy generation is also becoming popular, such as wind power generation and solar power generation. The Government of India has set targets for reducing dependence on coal-based thermal generation and aims to achieve around 500 gigawatts of power generation from renewable energy sources by 2030. So, nowadays, renewable generation is becoming more and more popular, and this is the need of the time. Hope you got a basic idea about the structure of a power system, from the generating end to the consumer end at the load center.